All right. Good afternoon. Hope everybody's doing well today. I dropped this in the chat. So this will be our agenda and the meeting links. And when we get our meeting recording on here, it's going to be on here for you and ready to go. So hopefully that is easy to get to. And so here's our agenda for today. We're going to talk about some different types of activities, and you're actually going to play with them. We have some velocity updates, and then we have a little Padlet activity and just some reminders. And then we're going to break out based on your velocity knowledge levels so that we can kind of work with you in different groups and see if we can help you with your own individual questions. So, all right. So let's start with this link right here. And apologize, I'm going to bring everybody up here. I will copy it and put it in the chat as well. So this one is actually a hello, Andrea. This one is a velocity game for you to do, but it's going to kind of show you some different ways to use it. And so I'm opening up a browser window in Chrome so that I can open it without being signed into Inspire. So if you click on that link and you're signed into Inspire, it's going to show you the teacher side. I want you to see the student side. So if you have Chrome up, you can always go up to the top and do an incognito window. And you can use the incognito window to do this. Or if you have more than one browser, you can open up a different browser and just don't sign into Inspire. So once you sign in, it's going to look like that. And then you just type in MUN and you should see my name. Select the teacher, and then you're going to get to play those activities. So are there any questions about those directions? Oh, does it sound good? Okay, I'm going to take everybody's faces off so you don't have to look at your faces. See if I can see the meeting chat. All right. So this is what the activity looks like. And it's really a silly activity. It's not serious. So this is your interactive reading. And you can say you're done. And this is going to be all about the history of Hershey's chocolate. But as you do it, you're going to see some different types of activities. And hopefully y'all are reading all about it and finding out some fun things. I'm going to go through with you. If you have questions, feel free to come off mute. This one's going to be a this is going to be a flashcard one, and this is going to have some long answers in it, but and if you don't learn anything today, maybe you'll just learn there's all these weird types of Hershey's Kisses out there. So we made you a drag and drop, which is really kind of a nice one. This is the drag and drop, a different type. And trying to show you the difference between a regular multiple choice and then you're going to get the interactive one. I'm going to let y'all watch that video because it's going to make you watch it. It's really short though. While you guys are working on that, I'm going to bring up the teacher side of this activity. And I can see a lot of people are in here working on it already. And then as you finish, if you just drop in the chat so we'll know. I just allowed cameras and mics. Thanks for putting that in there. You're stuck on typing. I know, I realized that one was really long.
Well, it's kind of blocked in front. Is anybody else having it the typing?
When you just go to type it in, just keep typing out all the letters until you get there. Can you not see this?
Just
Oh,
the
it's the
Y.
Y. It's the
Yeah,
Y.
yeah. And Francis, I'm going to come back to that question in just a second because yes. Thank you, Angela, for putting that in there. And Francis, you're about to get it to where you can use it. Yay. Thanks, Casey. Yes, I was using the chat feature. I'll show you when we all get back together how I was throwing those in the chat, which is kind of cool. Thanks, Francis.
Oh, I thought that was something you had built into the game. That was a
Mm-mm.
chat. Okay.
Mhm.
Thought I was just following directions.
Okay, I'm sending that out now as a chat. If y'all will come back together, even if you don't finish. So this is on the agenda meeting link, and it's right here. This is the velocity activity. And then down here, it says if you want to add this activity to your content sandbox, this is the share code. So you would copy that. And I will go to Inspire. Let me close that activity. And then you would go to My Content Sandbox. And we're talking about a velocity activity. So I'll click on that and hit Add Content. And just right here where it says Import Shared, you just paste that in. And then you'll have, this is the activity that you were working on. And so now this is in My Content Sandbox. And I'll show you just a few things. For each one of these little exercises, I built in some teacher notes about them. That way to kind of help you with it as you're building it, which is a really cool feature. And it's a part right here. It's one of these, it would be on the list if I didn't already have teacher notes. So that would be great if you were sharing this activity and building it for like a group so that you could leave notes for each other. And then you can see here, these are the keywords that I used to tell you where I wanted you to fill in the blanks. But now you can actually come in and say how many of the blanks you want and how few, if you want fewer frequency or more. So that's really cool. That's new. There's the flashcards exercise and ordering question, but this is the one, the constructed response. I tried to build it so you got a variety of constructed response questions because there's a lot you can do. Hopefully you guys noticed that the rubric came up on the last one, that you could actually even have a rubric that students could look at when they're building in their answers. And then this is the last exercise on here. This one is not enabled for students. I chose to make it blocked so that if you wanted to copy a portion of all, there's like 8 of these exercises. These are directions like if you wanted to just pull out one, let's say you really like the constructive response, it shows you how to copy that exercise part and then how to close it. You could go back and go add content and make a new one. And this is going to be a single activity. And then you just say paste the exercise. And so I could bring this in now. And if you wanted to compare 2 things in your classroom that was actually related to real content, you could just take this base and build it yourself. So that was just something that's there for you, built within that activity. Once again, here's how you get to it. When it says try out some activities, if you want to add it to your content sandbox, that's the share code there. And then I'm going to go back to this because Casey asked about this feature. So this is a feature when people are in the middle of it, it's show class messages. And that was actually how I was able to send y'all messages while you were in the activity. And it even has a timer built into it. So that's a pretty cool trick that you can do as well too. So with that, I'm going to stop for a second. Are there any other questions? I saw that Nancy had one in there and Angela took care of that already, but hopefully that was like kind of fun. And you were able to see some of the different types of activities and also learn about Hershey's Kisses. And since we did that, I am going to show you the results because now I've got results and I can see it by exercise. I can check on it by student. Just pulled you, Matt, just because I can see all of your answers. I love that down there. I like them because they're delicious. Me too. But this, and then I have the ability to reset for any of my students. So let's say that Matt wanted me to reset. Maybe he just wanted me to reset exercise 5. I can go and pull up by student here. And I'm right. Am I right about this, Angela?
I think so. We're going to find out.
I can actually just go in here and reset. Actually, I think Matthew, you were under Matthew Hunt. Let's see. Oh, maybe it was a different one. But I could choose any of these people on the line, like Megan Welch. I just saw yours. And with Megan here, or Francis, I could just hit reset. It would just reset that one section and not the whole thing. So that's really nice. All right.
And Dana, will you test something for me while you're in the reports to see if it was me or if it was working? In the one where you had the reading, the interactive reading,
Should have been exercise 1.
yep, and it's not do. Okay, never mind. It's not working. Okay, just wanted to check.
Okay. And then also I could export these 2 if I want to download and look at it later as a spreadsheet. So just kind of keep that in mind. So, so before we do the velocity updates, Angela, I'm going to switch to this. So this is a Padlet that we created. And if you click on that, it'll take you to the Padlet. And I'm going to drop this in the chat. We would love to get your opinion on ways that you could use this in your class. And I will say the one thing that I've learned is if one person puts something up I might not have thought of, and this Padlet's a really great idea. So how do you think, is there some way you could use any kind of velocity activity in your class. And you just, if you haven't used Padlet, hit that plus down here and type away. We'd love to hear like how you would use this in your class or with your students or even within your district or.
And I just wanted to throw out there that if you aren't thinking of anything at this exact moment, but you start playing around or you learn something new, a new feature, and you're like, oh, I could actually do this. This is available for you to like continue to add to, even if like at this exact moment you're not sure.
Right, right. Yeah. Oh, I love that one. That's awesome. The plump raccoon. That's a lovely answer. Tamika said, Tamika, is this, yeah, let's look at that in the breakout. I think you can reset it though, and it'll come right back to where you were. You might need to do that. I wonder who the shy owl could be. Yeah, I do like the drawing responses. I think it's really cool. Nice. That would be good. I like how you're bringing in the AI in there. Okay, see, that's awesome. So as Olu said, we are going to leave this so that, yes, annotation features. So we're going to leave this Padlet here, and you can add to this at any time, because I think that's what we do when we learn from each other, especially ways to use a tool like this. There's just so many ways that it could be used. And this is awesome to see that. And this Padlet link will live here on this document for you. Angela, do you want to talk about all the velocity updates?
Sure. We have a ton of things that are new and coming up. And I can get lost, so Dana, keep me on time mode because I don't want to consume all of today's time. But I do want to share with you some things that are out and coming out. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to finagle like 5 windows. And it's
Well, this one, do you want to take over? Or do you want to, this is the candy activity you were talking about.
No, I'm just trying to find my document that I had.
Gotcha.
And it's, for some reason, it's not showing up where it should be.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to show one thing that's coming
Sure.
in Inspire while you're finding that. Georgia Virtual School, this is in your resource repositories. We did find out today in a meeting that content is soon going to be available for our middle school our elementary students. And so this will be Georgia Virtual School content. I'm not going to open up these that have the dotted lines, but you can see that this is coming. So for example, when we open up middle school, you'll see there's a variety of content areas that they teach through Georgia Virtual School. And all of these, if you've never explored it before, are available to you as velocity activities. So that's just, these are currently here now, but there are going to be some elementary velocity activities that are from Georgia Virtual School starting in 2025. So that's a nice little nugget of information to know that this is coming for our elementary teachers. Did that buy you some time, Angela?
It did.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah. So we do have some great things that are going to be out. And I don't know where to start. That's my problem, I think. And I'll share with you developmental, you can be in the, it's a it's an activity. And it's going to look a little bit different because it is to our development site, because there are features in there that you won't be able to use quite yet. And there are things that will be activities that will look familiar, and things that are coming soon. So with this, I did try to do a kind of a comparison. So if you see Dana's screen, and Dana, I'll let you walk through it since you have it up, because it's better if you do it as a student than me. You'll see here, this is a typical multiple choice quiz question that we're all used to. It has your answer, your question has your answers, and a student answers based on what they know. And if they get it wrong, there isn't any type of response to correct them. And if you're doing a grade for their type of learning, did they actually learn at the end of a unit? That's great. But if you're doing something in the learning process, not so great, because they're committing if they were to answer incorrectly, they're committing to an answer that they may or may not know, or that may be wrong. And that can create incorrect learning pathways as they're going through things. So one of the things, this multiple choice is fine. There are other things you can do with multiple choice, and I won't get on Pepper's tangent about it, but I will, because I know that it's easy and it's interesting and it has its place. But Dana, do you mind going to the next one?
Sure.
Oh, I did not put these in orders. This is a flashcard activity. And these are, some of the activities from that one came from, oops.
Sorry.
Okay, so this is
I
the
hit the
drag
wrong
and drop
thing.
activity. No worries.
Okay.
I'll talk, I can talk about it order. It's fine. I'll talk about the flashcard first. This actually came from, at first, we only had one option, and it was just look at the flashcard, view the definition, view the word. And from our student feedback advisory council, they asked us to put in the term, definition, and sentence quiz. So they wanted to be able to quiz themselves using the flashcards. And so those additional options came from the students. So not only can they quiz themselves on just the word and definition, but they have some other options as well. And again, the teacher does have to set all that up, but the students did ask for that. So it's a great feature. You can put pictures in if you want. That's especially awesome for younger learners, or students that need that visual support as well. All right. Yep, if you want to go back to 2. So
Okay.
this drag and drop does use a new feature that's coming. It looks a little bit different in the setup mode and in the student response. This is easier to use than the traditional drag and drop, and it has an option to turn the drag and drop off. So you're getting radio buttons here, and to answer the questions. I've also included another additional question with it. So this is the quiz style function where the questions go right in order together. And so those flow, and this one is an ordering question up against that one as well. Again, different type of interface to set those up. It's a lot easier to use than the previous interface for both the ordering and the drag and drop. And there's multiple options that you can do for using that interface. And it's so easy. I can't wait for it to be released. It comes in a package with some features. So we are looking at the end of the semester, because we'll have to take our platform down for a little while. And so we don't want to disrupt instruction. And so it will be at the end of this semester for that. And hopefully when you come back, or those of you that like to play over the holidays, you might be able to get in there and play with it sooner than later. All right. The fourth one, I think, is pretty much the same with the interactive link. That's a pretty standard interface with accessing the link. We are working to do some things where it opens in the same browser, because I know that, the same tab, because I know that we've had some discussions with users about it opening in different tabs and windows with that. So that won't be ready for December, but just know that we are working on that. All right.
Okay. I'm trying to get, okay, which one would you like next?
We'll go ahead and go to the question matching. That one, 5.
And I'm sorry, I'm like, I've already done all of these.
That's okay. It's fine. It's actually okay that you've done them.
Okay.
This is also part of the new interface. This has a different setup as well. And it's also part of its multi-select and matching, and it's set up a lot different. Oh, she's showing you the radio buttons. So, and it's set up on the teacher side so much easier as well. And with this one, I learned very quickly that my definitions, or the longer part, should go on the left, and my short statements, because they're popping up right there in the radio buttons, should go on the right when you're setting it up, because those long definitions are so hard to read in the little window where you're trying to pull from the radio button. So I learned that really quickly, but it didn't take me long to figure that out when I did a preview. So I'll make sure to put that in the notes when we release this, so that you don't have to spend your time copying and pasting back and forth like I had to do. Granted, it didn't take long, but it's still annoyance when you have to fix something just because you didn't realize that to begin with.
Is this the one that, like, if I get one right, I'd still get credit, as opposed to if I were doing it otherwise, like you wouldn't get credit unless you got them all right? Is that correct with these?
It should, if you miss one, it will only mark the one that you missed, or each one. I think before, in the older, it marked the whole exercise wrong.
Got it. Yeah. And that was what was really nice, because that's one thing, like with those kind of questions, like if I get one off, then I'm definitely going to miss more. So it allows you to have like scoring based off of the individual entries instead of the whole exercise. Right? Did I get that right?
I believe so.
Okay.
We'll test it before we do our release notes to make sure.
Excellent. All right.
I'll skip the free form because that one's been around for a while.
Oh, it wants me to do this.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll
Okay.
show it. Free form is actually, for me, I've underutilized it. There's a lot of things you can do with the free form area. It's overwhelming at first, I think, but it's very customizable. If you want to be customizable in what you're doing and filling in, or blanks, that's where you want to go, because it does let you choose your words. If you're doing a reading passage and you want to pick the words instead of having the interactive reading, have the auto pick it, use the free form to do that.
Okay.
Um,
So I want to just keep an eye on our time because we do want time
Yep.
to break out.
So do want to show one more because I mentioned the multiple choice. Let's show the, I think the number 9.
Okay.
If you'll show it in the student view, I
Okay.
think
It
you
takes me a
might,
second to get caught up to that one.
sure,
'Cause
no worries. I think you might be able to redo. Well, you got them all right because you're so smart.
I just have to catch up. Sorry.
No worries.
Oh, I forgot what that word was. Flashcards.
Flashcards.
Okay. Fault.
Oh, I forgot that one showed it too.
This one. Okay.
Yep. Okay. So here is, I could have shown it on the one before. So this one is an option. Well, no, it didn't have the one I wanted. It showed it on the previous screen. We're trying to add in some features to help students where they can get feedback. So you'll see 2 new things showing up. The true and false and interactive multiple choice now will have options for I'm not sure and providing feedback. And those are to allow teachers to help students who aren't sure with the answer, and to make sure that they don't commit the wrong information to memory. And that will help build on those learning connections rather than forcing the student to commit to something that's wrong if they don't know what the answer is. And then they have an interaction. And again, it's the fill in, but it's an interaction with the correct answer, which is another brain stimulation that helps the student make the connection to the correct information and build that strength and bond with the correct information. So one more thing that's coming out, and I'll be quick, is grouping. It's called pods, and I could spend probably a whole hour on that. So I'll just tell you about it real quick. It works 2 ways, either teacher-led or student-led grouping. Pods, keep calling it that. It's really a cool feature. I'm still learning about it, and I think that you will find it to be very useful in your classroom.
Excellent. All right, before we do quick breakout groups, we did have just a couple of quick form links. So if you finish up an activity and you want some feedback on it, or maybe you want to share it with our group, you just fill this out, put your name, your email address, grade level, whatever content area it is, and the activity code, and send that to us. And as a matter of fact, we did have one person do that for us, and she said I could share it. So we've already had one person do that. And let's see, she was social studies. Sarah said we could show it. She went ahead and sent this in to us, and it's a labeling activity with the countries of Latin America. And she has this built up and ready to go. So we hope that you'll take advantage of that and share them with us as you go, because the best part about being a part of a group like this is we can share these activities and everybody can get more and more activities to work with. Hopefully that made sense. And then this is another one. If you think of anything along the way when you're working in Inspire, or something that it's not working right, and send this to us. For example, we've already had one person send that to us, and he's on the call, and I wanted to thank you. So you got your thank you for putting that one in there. But we need your feedback to know how we can make Velocity work better for you. So those two links are right there. All right, so we have 2 groups that we're going to break off into. And if you leave this up, don't close down the window. You're just going to click on whichever one you want. It will take you to that breakout room. And I will also drop them in the chat. Hopefully I can find maybe not. All right. But if you just click from here, it'll take you straight to a meeting. We're going to try to come back together maybe for the last 5 minutes. That way we can work depending on whatever level you feel that you're at. If you're a novice, you'll click on the word novice from this document and it'll take you to the novice meeting. If you are advanced, it'll go to the advanced meeting, and then it will put this current meeting on pause, and we can come back together like in the last 5 minutes and say our goodbyes and wish you all a happy holidays. So our Thanksgiving break. All right, so at this point, if you, let's see, this is novice. I can drop it in the chat. And the reason that we are breaking off is so that you can share your screen with us. That's the novice code. And then this is the advanced one, if I can get it up. Yeah.
So for anyone on this call who said, I know how to sign in, but that's about it, you can click on novice.
Right. And then just leave this one open. All right. And I'm going to stop sharing because I think the other meeting's already started without me. So we'll meet back over here when we get done with that. All right. If they come back. I'm not sure if they're coming back. We'll see.
I came back.
Yay, y'all. Our group did, but I don't know about the other group. I think they're stuck in their meeting. But in that case, Matthew, we appreciate you today. Lindy, I appreciate you today. Francis, I appreciate you today. Thank you for giving us your time. We know how valuable that is, and we appreciate everything you do for our Georgia students. And please let us know how we can support you. And we'll have these meetings, the recordings of those ready to go. So they'll be added to that document. So if you didn't get the document from early in the chat, I will put it at the end. And everything's on that one. And thanks for coming today. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank
Well,
you.
y'all keep